Well, it's raining. This is so awesome. I mean, we are literally a sea of brown. We've got some green over here just because I've had to keep a little water on it. But show you the sky. I think it's that tropical storm that's hitting Florida. Anyway, these two water tanks, which I use to actually use these to water this whole area. We just got them repaired. They've been leaking, and you can see the water going in. Anyway, this is awesomeness. Just wanted to share with you guys. It is raining. Nice. Well, you just saw that video. Today is Tuesday. On Sunday we got a quarter inch of rain, which is pretty awesome. I think I opened the video up with that. But today I think I got an idea in my terrace of how to infiltrate more water into it. So we're gonna walk down there. But for somebody that hadn't seen it, a very quick recap. Right here by a paved road. So this is on the high side of my property. I've got this big swale here that I overdug it, made it too big because there's clay in there. I wanted the clay, so I put wood chips in it, which is not a bad deal because when it fills up with water, mosquitoes can't lay eggs in it, so I'm happy with it. And then right below it I got vetiver, which produces roots about 12 feet deep. And honestly, if you look on my land, it's probably the only thing that's green right now. Everything is brown. Walking down from it, I've got another swale that it's been a couple years since I put the wood chips in it, but it's starting to disappear. You know, it was all mounded up. I think the last time I mowed, I just mowed over it because it had a couple of humps, but it's got itself level with the ground, but it still has the open pores where water can settle. But I like this idea because this area down here there's really no topsoil. I mean, it's like an inch down, there's rocks. So if I can build a swale, fill it with wood chips, a year later build another swale, it's like I can take this whole field and just build swales and fill them with wood chips, and I'm replacing rock with 18 inches to 2 feet of topsoil. So that's pretty cool. Now past that, I've got my worm towers, which I just took a post hole digger and dug holes probably 3 to 4 foot deep, 9-inch diameter, which is my post hole auger, and all my kitchen scraps go into the holes. And I usually have a bucket with a rock on it, but I wanted to show it to you, the status of them. That one I just showed you plus this one I've still been filling. And if we go over here, I haven't touched this one in a while, and I was going to dig in there, but there's a black widow spider in there. As soon as I lifted it up, there was a black widow, but you can see her egg sacs there. I currently don't see the spider right now, but you can look down in the hole. You can see all the scraps just wasting away. I think what's on the top are probably some paper towels. Then I don't know what's in this one. We can flip it. After I saw that black widow, I kind of stopped. Anyway, you can see that. Other than some eggshells, it's all pretty much decomposed. So I originally had like 13 of these holes just along this whole area. And I'm going to continue to do this. This is the easiest way to deal with chickens or kitchen scraps. We'll be at the terrace in a minute here. A recent video showed me redoing this diversion swale, so we get to actually see an update on it. So the diversion swale, which is right here, it actually stops the water from going downhill. There was no reason for it. I had a big issue where if we had a 2 or 3 inch rainstorm, all the water was cresting, running straight into my shop, putting a sediment. I'd have mud layer on the bottom of the shop. So I was trying to just divert that water. So I originally built this whole swale across here. But then what was happening is we were getting a swampy area. I'm going to relocate. So you can see the diversion swale. Well, you can see here coming in, I filled all this in. there was so much water being held here that it was actually seeping out around over here, creating this big swampy area. So I actually filled it in and slightly sloped it. Let me back up. So now when the water hits this, it's slightly humped here, so it's pushing it to the left, and then it's falling into the diversion swale. And I do want to rework this area here. My new rule of making sure I can mow it. I mean, for me to walk in here, I'm gonna be covered in stickers, and I mean, you can agree or disagree with it, but you can see it just it's all stickers in here. Anyway, so I need to come back and just slightly, I may just take this and push some dirt in to re-slope it. Also want to lift it up a little bit. There's not much downhill from this that needs water. I've got a fig tree right here, and then it's just pretty much open land. So I really don't even need this to hold water to infiltrate. I'd like to get it through this culvert into my terrace. And I think the culvert's probably 4 or 6 inches above the bottom. So if I just scrape the top, let the dirt fall in, that'll lift the bottom layer up closer to the culvert where more water is going to flow. But now we're going to get to the reason for this episode. Man, I've been spending like 4 months thinking about how to handle this. So I just showed you how all the water travels and comes this way and ends up in this terrace. With a terrace, as you can see here, this right here is the water path. So I mean, any water coming this way or coming downstream from those swale systems travels down here and goes into my pond system. And the way it was designed is, I can't remember if the drop is 1 foot per every 50 feet or 1 foot per every 100 feet, but it's a very slow drop, so the water's moving slow. So as it's moving, it's soaking in the ground, and in theory it's hydrating all of this stuff. The problem is I'm not seeing it, feeling it, convinced I'm holding water in this terrace system. So another thing to bring up is last year when I mowed this, I mean, there's little rocks here and there, but last year when I mowed it, the blade hit a rock, started a fire. It probably 8-foot diameter fire. Luckily I had a trench some water lines in here to water this stuff. So anyway, my first thing was like, okay, let's create these little dams along this terrace. And you can even create them where you can see you have the trees. I mean, you can mix and match them, whatever, but let's say I plant up a pecan tree, which is what this is. I could put a dam right here to hold a pool of water that'll soak in and water that pecan tree, if that makes sense. So my first thought is a layer of rocks across here. That was a no-go for 2 reasons. One, I don't want to start another fire. I want to be able to mow this. This is a rule for me. Just, you know, kind of respect that. But rocks don't dam up water. They slow water, and I need to dam it. I mean, I need standing water to let it soak in, so rocks out of the question. I've got a lot of ash juniper here, which is, we call them cedar trees. I could do a log dam, several log dams, just cut a little groove in here, put a log here, so the water would dam up to it, and then once the water level is high enough where it would go around, it would go around. I do have a 1 log dam here. There again, it's not damming water, it's more like a weir, a leaky weir. I mean, water's just going underneath the dam. Maybe I can pack some clay or something, but I'm risking it not holding water. And if you want to hold water and have standing water, I mean, honestly, a hole in the ground is the way to do it. So when I was walking out here, it's like, okay, let's make this a waffle. And I see it done in India where they'll go out and they'll just dig little square holes. I mean, maybe 6 feet or 2 meter by 2 meter, maybe 4 inches deep. Just dig a square, move over 4 or 5 feet, dig another square, and go all the way down here to do that. And when I was walking up here, this is what the video was about. And I actually grabbed a pickaxe and a garden rake, and I was going to do one. And then reality set in. Is this whole thing originally was like a rocky cliff, and as they were building this pond over here, they took the soil and they kind of feathered it out to create this terrace. I mean, they did have to shape it, but this is like this is rock. And for me to make the waffles, this is not contour, this is sloping up. So if I bring my skid steer in, I can't just dig it, it's going to be at a slope, so I'm just going to dig it sloped, where what I need to do is take the dirt over here and push it this way. And then I thought about the excavator, and I'm just not there yet where I have that control over the excavator to be that detailed with it. So then it just dawned on me, honestly, as soon as I walked down in this terrace, I'm like, just dump a pile of dirt. I mean, if I've got the skid steer, and if I came in with a pile of dirt and just dumped it here, just like literally 6 foot wide, just dump it right here and then kind of just feather it out, you know, it's going to have to go around. So the water is going to come up until it gets to the height of that, and then it's going to work around, ploop, and start running again until it hits the next one, and then ploop, run it. So that was my ending epiphany, I guess, of what to do here. And I'm, like I said, unless convinced otherwise, that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm probably a week away from doing it. I'm going to have to bring the soil in from the gate down there, and I think one of my last videos was me fixing that gate because deer were coming in underneath it. But I've got cows over there, so I'm going to have to come and go probably 30-40 times to do this, and I don't want the risk of cows coming in here. They're going to get moved next week, so when I move the cows next week, that seems to be what my next project's going to do. Let's see if we can't do that. Anyway, I hope all that makes sense to you. I'm really interested. I mean, I've had some good comments from people. I mean, am I right? Am I wrong? Does that seem like a good plan? Like I said, to be able to, and another option is just digging a trench. Let me back up real quick. And this is something that Ben told me, who actually pretty much built this thing. Like, you can just cut a trench. If you need to water that tree, just cut a trench right there in the water. But I don't know how to control that to keep water moving down and coming out. I like the idea of it just settling in the ground. Anyway, I've called this thing a failure, but it's also a success. I mean, I've got established trees here. My failure has been along this area here. Nanking cherry, blackberries, grapes. I mean, probably 4 or 5 other small perennials I try to plant here, and I couldn't get past that 90 to 100 days of 100-degree weather. I mean, maybe this year I'll do a fall planting, give the roots time to get established. I mean, right now I'm planting in the springtime, so they've got 2 months to establish, and then boom, it's 100 degrees and no rain. So maybe a fall planting is my answer. But anyway, I think at this point I'm rambling. Anyway, let me know what you think. I should be getting started on it next week, and I think one day I can make a good showing here. All right, y'all have a great day.